Hi dear children, in this video, let's see Unit 1 Prose. The title of the story is Two Gentlemen of Verona. Two Gentlemen of Verona. The author of this prose is A.J. Cronin. It was narrated by A.J. Cronin. Now, let's know something about the author of the lesson, that is A.J. Cronin. Archibald Joseph Cronin is a Scottish novelist, dramatist, and physician. Physician means doctor, okay, ma? He was regarded as the Scottish novelist. Novelist means he used to write novels. Then he was interested in playing dramas, that is, dramatist, and then physician. At first, he was working as a medical practitioner in Wales and London. Medical practitioner in the sense he was working as a medical பயிற்சியாளர், okay, in Wales and London. Physician means மருத்துவர் and practitioner means பயிற்சியாளர். When he was recovering from an illness, he landed up writing his first novel, Hayter's Castle. The first novel written by A.J. Cronin is Hayter's Castle. He instantly became popular with this novel, so he decided taking up writing as his full-time career. After writing this first novel, Hayter's Castle, he decided to keep his ambition as being a writer. Then, The Spanish Gardener is one of his most notable works. The Spanish Gardener, this is one of his famous work. Now, let's enter into the story. I will tell you the story in short, okay? The story actually begins with the narrator driving through the foothills of the Alps along with his companion. While driving on the outskirts of Verona, two young boys who sell wild strawberries stopped their car, okay? The small boys appeared to be quite shabby, and the driver is not keen on buying the strawberries from them. Then the narrator's companion, he got to know that the boys are brothers, okay? The elder one was aged 13 and he is Nicola. Then the younger brother aged 12 is Jacopo. The narrator and his companion then buys the biggest basket of strawberries from the boys and they go towards the city. Then if you see what happened in the next morning, let's see what happened in the next morning. The next morning, they again see the two same boys doing the shoe shining job, and on being asked, they said that they do many things for a living, okay? So the narrator asked them, why are you doing so many jobs? And finally they replied that they do all these jobs for their own living. They also tell the narrator and his companion that they could work as guides and show the visitors places of interest in the town. They also told that not only as a fruit seller and shoe shiner, we could also guide the tourist to visit the places of interest. So the narrator asked them to take them to the Juliet's tomb, okay? And during the time of their stay in the town, the two young boys turned out to be very helpful to the visitors. They helped the visitors in doing lots of jobs. Then, one night, the boys are found with a bundle of unsold newspapers, and so they are ready to sell them when the last bus arrived one night. The narrator then talks to them and they ask them why they were working so hard. So, now the narrators, they wanted to know why these two brothers are working so hard. Now the narrator and his companion came to know that the two little brothers seem to fetch sufficient money. So that is why they are not spending any amount on clothes and food. Nicola tells him that they had something in their mind, but he does not elaborate it. Nicola just told him that we have something in our mind, but Nicola did not tell his difficulty to the narrator and companions, okay? Then Jacopo then requests the narrators to drop them in his car to the village Poletta that is around 30 kilometers away. He requests him and says that it would be a great favor if they do it. And now, although Nicola does not like the fact that his brother is troubling the narrator, but the narrator gladly agrees to help the boys with reaching that place. And so, the next afternoon, he drives along with the two boys to the village. After dropping them, the boys enter a large red roofed villa, which is actually a hospital. Okay. Then the narrator hesitates to enter the hospital room. He tries to find out from the nurse about the girl patient in the hospital and the boys. And later on, the nurse tells him that Lucia is the sister of these two boys. Who is the sister of these two, younger and elder boy? Lucia. Okay, Lucia. Lucia is the sister of these two boys and is suffering from tuberculosis. And what was Lucia suffering from? She was suffering from tuberculosis. Okay, ma? Yeah. Then she also mentions that a bomb had destroyed their home during the war. During the war, their complete home was destroyed by a bomb, and even their father, a widower, had got killed during the early part of the war. Even their father was being killed during the early part of the war, and when he died, his 3 children were left to starve. Then they were led to face starvation. Okay, she told the narrator that the boys also hated the Germans who came to rule the city and even became a part of the resistance movement. And once the war was over, Lucia got afflicted with tuberculosis and the boys had to admit her to a hospital. So they have been trying their best to make payments regularly to the hospital. Now these boys, they have the responsibility of paying the medical bill for their sister. So that is why these boys were working so hard. Okay. The narrator came to know all these details. Then the narrator waited outside the room. Okay. The narrator was touched by the love and devotion with which the two boys worked for their sister. He understood their character very well, and he came to know that they wouldn't like to have sympathized. If the two brothers, if they would be sympathized, they would have got lots of help from the public people, but they did not like to be sympathized. And so he did not say anything to the boys on their way back to the home, but they kept it as a secret to themselves. Now the two little brothers, they kept the secret to themselves, and in the same way this narrator, they came to know all the matters, but still they did not discuss it with the two boys, and they kept it as a secret itself. The narrator felt that such a humble youth gives our society hope for a better tomorrow. And still there is hope for humanity. Okay.